Long ago, in a world where the summer never came, there lay a kingdom buried under endless white snow. This was the kingdom of Frost, ruled by Queen Seraphina. Seraphina was once a kind ruler, but a great betrayal had turned her heart to ice. In her sadness and rage, she cast a powerful spell that froze the rivers, covered the mountains in thick glaciers, and hid the sun behind gray, storm-filled clouds. For 50 years, the people of the kingdom lived in shivering fear. They had forgotten what the warmth of the sun felt like. They had forgotten the color of green grass. In this frozen land, lighting a fire was a crime, and the queen's soldiers, giant golems made of solid ice, roamed the streets to ensure that the world remained cold and silent. In a small, crumbling village at the edge of the kingdom lived a young orphan boy named Kael. Kael was different from the others. While everyone else shivered in their furs, Kael always felt a strange heat in his chest. His hands were never cold. One night, while digging through the ruins of an old library, Kael found a heavy iron box hidden beneath the floorboards. When he touched it, the metal didn't feel cold. It felt warm. Inside the box was not gold or jewels, but a single glowing red stone. It pulsed like a heartbeat. As soon as Kael picked it up, he heard a voice in his head, ancient and powerful.
I am the last spark of the eternal fire. Take me to Frozen Peak, or we'll sleep in ice forever.
Kael knew the frozen peak. It was the highest mountain in the land, where Queen Seraphina lived in her crystal palace. To go there was suicide, but Kael looked around at his village, at the children crying from the cold, at the old people too weak to move. He realized he was the only one who could hold the stone without burning his hands. He wrapped the stone in a cloth, hid it inside his coat, and stepped out into the blizzard. The wind howled like a hungry wolf trying to push him back, but the heat from the stone kept him moving. His journey had begun. From her high throne of diamond and glass, Queen Seraphina felt a disturbance. She felt a heat she hadn't felt in decades. She looked into her magical mirror and saw the small boy climbing the mountain. Her eyes, blue as the deep ocean, narrowed in anger. A spark? She whispered, her voice cracking the air like a whip. I extinguished the fire long ago. She slammed her staff on the ground, and from the snowdrifts outside, 3 massive ice golems rose up. They were 10 feet tall with jagged icicles for teeth. The golems stomped down the mountain, shaking the earth with every step. Kael was halfway up the mountain when the ground began to tremble. Out of the white mist, the ice golems appeared. They were terrifying. One of them swung a massive fist at Kael, smashing the rock where he had just been standing. Kael scrambled back, slipping on the ice. He had no sword, no shield. He only had the stone. The golems surrounded him, blocking his path. Kael could feel the cold radiating from them, trying to extinguish the warmth in his chest. He panicked. He reached into his coat and pulled out the glowing red stone. "Help me," he screamed. The stone responded to his fear and his courage. It flared up, turning from red to blinding white. A wave of heat exploded from Kael's hand. The ice golems, made of magic snow, didn't stand a chance. The moment the heat wave hit them, they hissed and melted into puddles of water. Exhausted but alive, Kael continued his climb. The air grew thinner, and the cold became aggressive. It wasn't just cold. It was a magical freeze that tried to stop his heart. Finally, he reached the gates of the Crystal Palace. The gates were open, inviting him in. He walked through the long, silent halls filled with statues of frozen warriors until he reached the throne room. There, sitting on a chair of floating ice shards, was Queen Seraphina. She was beautiful but terrifying. Her skin was pale as moonlight, and her crown was made of sharp frost.
You are brave, little candle, but fire flickers and dies. Ice is eternal. Give me the stone, and I will let you freeze quickly without pain.
I don't want to fight you. I just want to see the sun again. Don't you miss it? Don't you miss the flowers?
The queen's face twisted in pain for a split second, but then her anger returned. "Love and warmth are lies," she screamed. She raised her hands, and a storm of razor-sharp ice daggers flew toward Kael. Kael held the stone tight against his chest and closed his eyes. The stone shattered in his hands, but it didn't break. It hatched. From the fragments of the stone, a massive bird of pure fire erupted, a phoenix. It spread its wings, which were made of golden flames, and let out a cry that sounded like victory. The ice daggers melted instantly before they could touch Kael. The phoenix flew up to the ceiling, circled the queen. Seraphina raised a wall of ice to protect herself. But the phoenix didn't attack her. Instead, it flew to her frozen heart and wrapped its warm wings around her. The queen screamed, "No, it burns!" But then her scream turned into a sob. The fire wasn't burning her. It was melting the wall she had built around her soul. Tears streamed down the queen's face, and as they fell, they turned into water, not ice. The phoenix exploded into a million sparks of light, and filling the sky. Outside, the gray clouds ripped apart. For the first time in 50 years, a golden ray of sunlight hit the snow. Kael walked to the balcony of the palace and looked down. The magic was working fast. The white snow was melting, revealing brown earth. Green shoots of grass were popping up. Far below in the village, people were running out of their houses, looking up at the sun, cheering and crying with joy. The eternal winter was over, and as for Kael, he was no longer just an orphan boy. He was known as the bringer of dawn, the boy who carried fire in his pocket and melted a kingdom of ice. So remember this story when you feel cold or lonely. Even the hardest ice can be melted by a single spark of warmth, if you are brave enough to carry it. The winter may be long, but the spring always returns.